Hi, I'm Nikita,
And I'm El Capitan Moses.
and you're listening to my prerogative podcast. And today we will be talking about the five love languages and how important it is to know these love languages in relationships. So, to get started, I'll just kind of go down a list of the five love languages and kind of give a brief overview of what they are. So you have words of affirmation. So when words of affirmation is your love language, words build you up. You can thrive on spoken affection, praise, encouragement, and compliments. Harsh words and criticism can bother you for a long time. Then we have acts of services or acts of service. So anything that your partner does willingly to ease your workload is a sign of love to you. You feel cared for when your partner vacuums before you get to it or makes you breakfast as a surprise. On the other end, broken promises or laziness can make you feel unimportant. And then we have receiving gifts. So when you speak this love language, a thoughtful gift shows to you that you are special. In contrast, generic gifts and forgotten special events have the opposite effect. This love language isn't necessarily materialistic. It could be as simple as receiving your favorite snack after a bad day. Then we have quality time. So to you, nothing says you're loved like undivided attention. When your partner is truly present and not looking at their phone, it makes you feel important. Failure to actively listen or long periods without one-on-one time can make you feel unloved. And then last but not least, we have physical touch. So holding hands, kisses, hugs, and other touches are your preferred way to show and receive love. Appropriate touches conveys warmth and safety, while physical neglect can drive a wedge between you and your partner. So those are the five love languages. And, I have to ask, Moses, what is your love language?
I've been asked this before. I don't know. I feel like the one thing about the love languages that I feel like does it go both ways in the sense of like which one is like receiving gifts. I don't like receiving gifts that much. I like giving gifts to people, if that makes sense. So maybe like my love
Yeah,
language is
so
like giving things to people.
so that would be acts of services then.
I guess, but not for me. I like doing it for other people.
Right. So, okay. So that's how you love.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. How do you like to be loved, though?
I don't know. That's it. 'Cause I don't know.
So typical
I'm
of this
definitely
man.
wow.
Just do your best.
Okay, let's do process of elimination. I don't think I'm physical touch.
Okay. Words of affirmation. So, do you like to be praised? And, does speaking lovingly to you like make you feel valued as a
maybe,
being in the relationship?
maybe not particularly. Maybe just normal amount. Acts of
Okay.
service.
Acts of service.
I mean, I like giving gifts more than I like receiving gifts.
Okay, so acts of service and receiving gifts are different. Okay, so acts of service is if you do something nice, like, take your partner's car to the gas station and fill up the tank. Because acts of service and then there's also receiving gifts. So acts of service is just doing nice things for your partner. Like if I know that in the morning you like, your coffee and I wake up before you to make your coffee. Something like that.
I feel like I'm an anomaly. I just like giving love. I like giving love to people. That's how I feel.
I mean, but if you just gave love, 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 and you didn't feel like it was reciprocated, like, would that not drive a wedge or make you feel unappreciated or unimportant or unvalued? if that's even a word. Is it invalued or unvalued? I don't know,
Undervalued?
but undervalued?
Undervalued?
Yeah, maybe we'll go with that.
I don't know. I'm
Okay,
complicated.
what about quality time? What about quality time?
Well,
So you don't like receiving gifts, right?
no,
Okay.
not too much.
What about quality time?
Maybe it's quality time. Yeah, maybe it's
Or
quality time.
physical touch? Do you like to be touched?
Not all the time. I feel like it's quality time, maybe. Yeah, maybe it's quality time.
Okay.
If I had to lean to one, I'd probably pick that one through process of
And
elimination.
like have a Star Wars
Yeah, that'd be
marathon
cool.
and just be in the moment.
I should be like,
I feel like that would make you really happy.
yeah.
This is simple things,
Yeah,
Moses.
I'm not complicated. I don't need a lot. Say, Moses, do you need like, get your gifts, do something? Like, no, I'm good. just be here sometimes. Sometimes I'll spend some time, do something. Other times, like, I'll do my own thing.
Yeah, I get it.
What about you?
I think for me, to be honest, I like all these
Mm,
fucking love languages. I need a little bit of all of it,
mm,
if that makes sense. I don't even know if that's like a thing, but I think I would need a little bit of all of it. Like, I don't need all of the quality time,
mm,
but I do need some quality time. I don't need you to always touch me, but I do need you to touch me. I
mm.
don't need you to always give me shit, but I do need gifts. I don't need you to always,
Yeah,
like, I think all of it is the way I like to be loved. And I think naturally I am acts of service. I show love through acts of service and receiving gifts. So I like to give people shit, and I like to do nice things for people that I know that they would appreciate.
yeah.
That's how I show love.
I think I saw a like psychologist talking about this on like TikTok or something, and that like the love languages are like they're not like a thing in the way a lot of people think they are. Like, oh, like someone's just one thing. Like everyone's all of them. You know what I mean? Like everyone's really all of them. That's just
Yeah, I think so because I think if my partner lacked one or was very neglectful,
mm,
I think that I would, have an issue with that. No, even though they're doing other things, and it kind of like makes sense to why like people feel like they need multiple partners because they get a little bit of all of it.
mm,
Sorry, from multiple people.
mm,
I was just actually talking to one of my really good friends about this yesterday because he was saying that he has like 4 to 5 different partners, and he gets a little bit of what his needs are met by all of these people,
mm.
a little bit from each person. And so I think that makes sense if we're talking about love languages and like how people, need to receive love in order to feel valued. I think you need a little bit of all of it, and not everybody can,
I guess
not a lot of people can give a little bit of all of this shit.
I think there's also just the balance though of like of time where it's like, okay, if I had like four partners, like yeah, each of them could give me something specific, but I also had to put aside the time to be with four different people. And what about my self-love? I love myself. I want quality time with
It
me.
sounds
Yeah.
exhausting. It sounds exhausting, right? It's like, how do I spread myself between all of these people and give them what they
Yeah.
need in order for them to continue giving me what I need? And then it's like, maybe I would like one person more than the other. So,
Like even if
then
it's
what?
both ways and like everyone's using each other for like one specific like aspect of love languages or something, that's still time, like quality time. Think of your self-love. I can use these love languages on myself too. Moses needs quality time. Moses needs quality time.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
I got four people I need to
That
like,
is true.
Moses, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's like, hold on. This is Moses love language time. This is Moses dating himself right now. Moses is dating himself at home.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so do you think it's important to have the same love language as your partner? Or would it make the relationship better?
Okay, so I used to believe when I was younger that the idea that opposites attract. So like if you don't have the same
Oh,
love,
you believed that?
I think I believed that more heavily when I was way younger because I thought
Yeah.
opposites make it more interesting, like someone who's not exactly the same as you. But then like I think after being in like several like super long relationships, it does help to have like similarities in like some key ways. So like love languages, I think is one of them because like if your partner is if their love language is diametrically opposite to yours, that is going to be like that is hard in the long run where it's like, okay, wait, this person likes this. Even if I don't like this, they like this. And it's like, okay, I have to do this because I'm committed to them.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's,
I mean, I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I did once at a point in my life when I was a lot younger think that opposites, attract, but it's the opposite. They actually retract.
yeah, it's definitely like it's a cool idea on paper, if that makes sense.
Right. In theory.
Yeah, like in theory, it's like, yeah, it'd be so interesting. Like we're different, we can learn from each other and bounce off. But it's like, when you live with like another person, you're building a life. It's like, okay, wait, we are different in some significant ways. We got to figure this out.
Right. Something's got to give.
Yeah.
But to go back to your point too, when you were saying that if you guys did have the same love language and you were in a relationship, that would make it easier. Do you feel like if the way you love, so you said that you love to give gifts
hmm
and do things for your partner, do you think that if that's your love, that's how you express love, that's your natural way to
hmm
express love, but your partner needed physical touch to feel appreciated and valued and, fulfilled in a relationship, but that's not how you naturally give love? Do you think that that could also be a problem because,
So
it's not natural to you and so you have to remember to do it?
I had this exact issue, like exactly like this. I had this exact issue because my partner at that time, she was a physical touch person. It's like that was her like way to express love and the way she wanted to receive it all the time. So she was very like touchy feely, like all that sort. And I'll tangent into this other topic in a second. But back then, I wasn't very much a physical touch type of person. So like so it was like totally like a butting heads of like I like to be loved this way, you like to be loved in the way that like in the way I'm least accustomed to. So yeah, it did create a tension because like so God Moses, you don't naturally do this, this, and this. You have to remember and like make and
Right.
like I don't want to say make myself, but it is true. I have to make myself like enter that zone because like okay, that's what she likes. Even if that's naturally not the way I would do it, I have to do it for her.
Right.
So it is
Yeah.
hard. It does create little, not a lot of tension, but like it can add up little teeny
I
bits.
definitely think it creates tension because your partner may feel like you don't love them.
Mm,
And you really do. Like you genuinely love them, but you just don't express love the
yeah,
way that they need to
yeah.
be loved. So naturally, you don't do it naturally. And so as a human being, like
Mm,
we're not perfect. We're gonna, shit is gonna fall by the wayside, especially when you have a lot of shit going on. And so that type of extra shit that you have to mentally make a mental note to kind of cross it off for the day, like that a lot of times that shit falls by the wayside.
that's true. Like
And
it
so
doesn't come natural. It's like okay, it's we're back to it again. Like it's kind of work. You got to work at it. Yeah, like,
right,
yeah, okay, I got to do this.
right, exactly. And I don't think relationship do you think relationships should be work?
But they should like in a perfect world they shouldn't be. But like I think in reality, like to make them work for like years and years on end, like it's kind of work. Not like bad
Yeah.
work, but like it takes effort. It takes constant effort and like okay, Are you good? I'm good. Oh, we're both good. We good? All right, let's make sure we're good. All right, we're good.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the tangent. Oh,
Um,
okay, sorry.
no, go. Because what?
Just the tangent I wanted to go into out of that was related to this in the sense of like when I was younger, that was like the prime example of relationships like forcing you to evolve and forcing you to change. Because when I think of the Moses from 18 years old, 21, way back then, like, yeah, I had like my specific one way that I like to be loved, and I tried to just send that out. And being with so many people, you learn that like, okay, no, there's a acquisition of skills, an
Being
acquisition.
with so many people.
I didn't
Moses, he
even.
was a hoe.
I mean,
He was-
that's for a different. That's for a different podcast. That's for a different podcast.
Okay, go ahead. You said, yeah,
like,
being with so many people.
it's been like long-term relationship. I've been at a few long-term relationships.
Moses, you're only 30. You cannot be with so many people in long-term, unless you have multiple long-term
No,
relationships
I've only had like
simultaneously.
4, but that's enough.
You're
But that's
okay.
enough. I think more. I think even 2 is like, depending on how long they are, it's enough. Because it really shows that like I had to acquire like bits and pieces of the other love languages. Like I realized like, okay, that wasn't Moses' final form. Like I had to
Mhm.
evolve and grow. It's like, okay, wait, like some people like quality time. I should learn to like that in my own way. Some people like
No.
what?
No, you should learn to like it because other people do.
Well, no, in the sense of like I myself was missing out on certain things. Where it's like in the sense of like people who love physical touch, like by experiencing those types of people, there were aspects of that expression of love that I learned to like that I didn't experience or think about
Gotcha.
before, or like
Gotcha.
yeah. So like
Okay.
I
Makes sense.
got exposed to the different things that when I was a kid and it was just Moses. I had my own singular way that I liked to love, and experiencing other people. I was like, oh wait, there's so many different ways to do this. So I was like,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I completely agree because we have to learn.
oh my god, you disapproved so hard that one point. No.
I know, right?
You're like, damn. Cut the stream, cut the cameras. Get this guy out of here. Get him out of here.
Like I had to learn how to. Nah, we're not adjusting who we are. But
We might need to unpack this.
anyway,
We need to unpack this for you.
yeah, we may need to. For you.
No, for you. You're the one who reacted that way. What's going on? Got something you want to talk about, Nikki? I don't gotta learn shit, Moses. I ain't gonna learn shit.
I don't know. It sounded like you were saying I had to compromise who I am in order to love someone the way that they wanted to be loved, and that's where
This life has
like,
changed.
no.
Life has changed, Nikki. We all change over time. It's inevitable.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's the only thing that's constant in life is
Exactly.
change. And so if you're not changing, you're not growing. And if
clearly-
you're not growing, then
I'm not the same Moses
You're not
I
really
was
living.
back then. I learned
Yeah,
from my
yeah.
experiences.
yeah. Yeah, 100%. And I think like that's really important. So when we're younger, we don't really know
Mhm.
what our wants and needs are until we actually experience it. And then we, get around other people and they expose us to different things. And it's like, let me see if that works for me. And, you take a little bit of it and, you give some of the shit back. Like, no, I don't like it. But yeah, we definitely have to, that definitely comes from experiences in order for me to sit up here and say, hey, I need a little bit of all of the different love languages. That definitely had to come from experiences and me knowing what I don't like.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, yeah.
You're Nikita
So-
2.0.
I think I'm 3.0 now. I'm in my 30s. So.
I didn't want to say. I considered in my mind like I'm going to say 2.
You know what?
I'm going to say 2.
Let's move on. Okay. How can understanding your love language help you develop intimacy in your relationship?
Intimacy, just like emotional or physical or both.
I would say maybe emotional.
Okay. I mean, I think we covered this a little bit earlier, where like if that's like how your partner connects emotionally on like a deep level, you gotta like kind of understand like which lane they're driving in. It's like, okay, if Nikita's a physical.
No.
Oh.
But it's how can understanding your love language, not the other person's. Yeah.
Sorry, Nikita. I'm just such a
Mr. I don't know my love language. Maybe I shouldn't ask you this question because you don't fucking know that.
I'm such a giver, Nikita. Like, I'm a giver. I'm a giver.
It sounds like you're saying gibber.
I'm a giver. Okay. I'm a giver. That's my love language. I give things. But okay, how does understanding my love language help with intimacy? I mean,
I'll go while you think.
Yeah, sure.
I think me understanding my love language and being able to effectively communicate how I like to be loved will enhance intimacy emotionally, because if you feel heard and you feel valued by your partner, then naturally it strengthens the relationship. So it almost like makes it easier. I guess when we were going back to like relationships or work, I think maybe you don't have to put in as much work if you're understanding how it is that you want to be treated and how it is that you want to be loved, and you can effectively communicate that to your partner, then I think that it just enhances the relationships and make it that much more magical, in my opinion.
Oh, wow. A little Disney sprinkle at the end. Makes it that much more magical. It's a little Disney magic at the end. Like, oh, when did we get into Disney movie? Disney Princess Nikita over here.
How about you, though?
I mean,
what do you think?
My answer was pretty much going to be...
Agree, disagree?
I agree. I think my answer is going to be similar, I guess, just from the opposite perspective. Man, I'm just... really shows that, like, Moses is like, hey, whatever makes you happy, I'm good. Moses is the chameleon.
But really, though, are you, though, Moses, though? Like, in a perfect Moses world, like, is just you giving enough without, the other person pouring into you the way that you will want? Like, do you think that could lead to resentment, 5 years later or 3 years later, when you fucking wake up and you gotta make your own fucking coffee because this bitch like don't give a fuck about getting up to getting coffee for you because if you haven't effectively communicated how it is that you would like to be loved, because you don't fucking know.
I just imagine just waking up, just it hits you like an epiphany, like, ugh. What is this bitch?
Like, I fucking hate her.
She
ain't shit.
Just hits you.
But it's your fault, though. Yeah.
It hits you like a truck.
I think it is important. Yeah. It is very important, especially if you're a giver. If you're a giver and you naturally like to give, it is really easy to be taken advantage of.
I mean, so like my answer was going to be the same, where it's like, yeah, I agree that like communicating like how you want to be loved is like necessary just to make it even on both ends, that like, okay, you get what you're loving in the way you want to be loved, I'm loving the way I want to be loved, you're getting what you want, getting what I want. The symbiotic cycle is churning. If one side isn't communicating or giving equally, then like the wheel breaks. You wake up one day and say, I hate this bitch.
I don't know, Moses. I feel like you need to do some introspective work for shit. to figure out how it is that you really like to be
Well,
loved.
I said earlier.
I think I like to be loved this way, but
Maybe
I don't know.
I said earlier, like quality time. All you gotta do is
You said I think I like quality. That sounds most reasonable.
just be.
That sounds about right.
You gotta be like, hey, Moses, you want to watch Star Wars? Like, I'm set for like a good 3 months.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Have you been in a relationship where your partner gave you words of affirmation? Just like that was how they communicated their love, and so they always like praised you and
Yes.
told you how amazing you were.
Yes.
You didn't like it. You didn't care for it. It made you uncomfortable.
It just didn't do a lot for me. That has to do with a lot more of like how I grew up, I guess.
Okay, because you ain't gotta tell me I'm the shit. I know I'm the shit. Like,
That's one half of it. It's like,
what's the other half?
I grew up with like a strict family who would at the same time criticize everything I would do. So I have like a very realistic like outlook on like my own like skills and the things I do. But at the same time, I also come from a family that's incredibly arrogant and egotistical in the sense that like, Mo, you're the greatest thing that ever walked this earth. Like your mother and I, we came together, we created the perfect kid. So like no, and that's like verbatim like things my parents would say. So at the same time, I was getting gassed to high heaven, but also getting criticized about everything. So it's like when words of affirmation hit me, on one hand, it's like, I mean, I'm incredibly confident in myself. So it's like, yeah, thanks. The other hand, it's like, I'm not that good. You know what I mean? So it's like words of affirmation don't do a lot for me. I feel like it evens out to like neutral, where it's like, thank you.
I think you need some therapy. That sounds like childhood trauma.
I mean, don't we all have childhood trauma? don't we all have just a little,
to be
little
able
spice?
Yeah, but you can acknowledge it. But have you worked through it though? Like,
I think I just incorporated it into my
oh my gosh.
persona. We could have a whole stream about this. It's the dichotomy of the Moses upbringing is very interesting.
Oh my God. Yeah, I want to hear more about this.
I got told every night before I go to bed that like, Mo, you're the descendant of kings and pharaohs. Like you're gonna be the greatest of us all. Like, oh my God.
It's pressure.
But exactly, like you're gonna be the head of the. Because I'm also named after my dad, so it's like if he's the head of the family, like Mo, you're gonna be the next head. Like all this will be yours one day. Like, oh my God. Like you're smarter than all of us. You're the smartest of us all. Like, but don't talk back. You're not smarter than me though. Like, shit. Wait, what? I don't get it. I'm confused. Am I that good, or am I just normal? Like, I don't know. I was a very confused little kid. Like, I was like, I don't. These feel like two different messages you're giving me.
Right. It's so contradictory.
So I evened out to like.
That's funny. Okay. Go ahead.
But not, you know.
Did you have final?
Nah, next question. Oh, man, I'm making you lose your voice.
Okay. I know, right? Which love languages go best together?
Ooh, I think that's a good question. It feels very.
Okay, I'm gonna go back.
Feels very astrology.
I'm gonna go back to the top. I know, right? Look at us being love language subject matter experts.
Right?
I'm just like having this conversation. Okay, words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, physical touch. So quality time and physical touch to me would go hand in hand because as we're spending quality time together, I can be physically touching you.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
And then we also have acts of service and receiving gifts, which seems like they will go hand in hand because it's an exchange.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the person, you know, it's an exchange of, you know, things and gestures, I guess. And then words of affirmation. I guess that would go down with physical touch and quality time, right?
Hold on. I need to see the 5 in front
You
of
need
me.
to pull it up.
Yeah, just so I can organize my thoughts on it. Just so I know I'm getting just 5. Just give me like a helpful picture. There we go. All right, let's see. Receiving gifts, quality time, access service. Let's see.
Let's see.
What should be the best combinations? What would be some weird combinations that could work?
Ooh.
Like words of affirmation and acts of service?
Yeah, that sounds weird.
That's just a lot of
Words
talking.
of affirmation and acts of service.
So wait, so hold on. Are we combining
What about
these
words
as...
of affirmation? Go ahead. Are we combining them as what?
So I'm thinking of two scenarios. Are we combining them like, okay, one partner has one, the other partner has the other, and they're like interacting? Or
Right,
is it
right.
two combined within just one singular person?
No.
Okay.
So it's like one person needs to be loved one way, the other person needs to be loved the other way. Which two would go together best? Or what combination do you think would, well, I guess two. So which two do you think would pair best? So if I needed acts of service and you needed receiving gifts, would that be more compatible if I needed acts of service and you needed quality time?
In that way, acts of service and words of affirmation could work. Because if I give you an act of service and then you say, give me a word of affirmation, that's a never-ending cycle.
Oh,
That's a never-ending cycle.
So you like fill my gas tank and I say, oh my God, Moses, you're the fucking best. You fucking parted my Red Sea.
See, that's a good cycle. That makes sense.
That's a good one.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. I like that.
Let's see. What about another? Physical touch, quality time. That makes sense. Because
Physical touch, quality time. Yeah. Because like you can actively be like killing two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Type of.
in fact, words of affirmation could probably go with any of them. That's like the ultimate like chameleon. If one person's words of affirmation, they could just give words of affirmation as a thank you for any of these. So that one's easy.
Yeah, but what if the other person did? But what if the other person didn't want words of or didn't felt uncomfortable with words of affirmation?
Oh, meaning like
So words of affirmation.
I guess like meaning the word of affirmation. If someone likes words of affirmation, they can like at least they can. I
They
feel
can
like
be with anybody.
yeah, they can like get love easily from like anybody. If all they need is like.
Not really, because if I don't want to fucking praise you all the time and fucking validate you all the time, then you ain't gonna fucking.
I mean,
nah.
of course, but like
that's a lot.
if you have to do it all the time, that's a lot. Like Nikita, you didn't say thank you. What?
That's words of yeah. Those people
You
that
harlot.
they want to be loved like that, like. If that's my love language and I find it annoying, like, fuck, like, why do I always have to tell you how amazing you are? Do you not believe it?
Yeah.
And it's like,
actually,
that would really be a problem.
This whole section has spawned so many cool things to talk about just with like playing with like the inverse of these. Like, okay,
I know, right?
which of these would be the most annoying to the extreme?
I know. I would definitely say words of affirmation.
That one would be
Get
annoying.
the fuck on somewhere. That one would be hella annoying. But that's because that's not how I express love. So for somebody who did express love that way, like that would be like hella fucking easy. But for me, that's not how I love. So I would rather do acts of service or buy you something.
I wonder if acts of
that requires no talking either.
No, see, we're revealing things about Nikita right now. Things are being revealed about Nikita. This is peeling back the veil on both of us. Now it's like Nikita doesn't want to talk that much.
I do not
Like,
want to praise
she's like,
you.
motherfucker, leave me alone. Leave me alone. She's like, leave. I am not trying to talk.
I mean, I can give you words of affirmation when I feel like you deserve them, but that's when I feel like you deserve it, not if you fucking feel like you deserve it. And I think that's where the disconnect lies. That's my issue.
I wonder, could acts of service be annoying? I feel it'd be hard to make that annoying. Wait, no.
I feel like
I can see it.
you think it would be annoying, like I mean, because if you did it too much, you feel like, damn, I could have done that shit by myself.
I'm thinking like the extreme of each of it. Like if someone was just like,
or,
okay.
Go ahead, you first. You first.
Acts of service being annoying, it's like if someone just like tried to do everything for me, like all the time, that could be, I could see that being annoying.
And if they didn't do it the way you wanted it done, that could be even more annoying.
It's like,
well, first of all, I didn't ask you to do this, and then you fucking did it, bro.
Like, you clean my apartment. I had a system. Where's all my stuff? I can't find anything. What have you done?
But see, like, acts of service is anything that your partner does willingly to ease your workload is a sign of love to you. Yeah, if it's too much all the time. Or
back up.
if I get used to it and you don't fucking do it one day, then it's like, the fuck?
And it's a problem. And it's an expectation.
Then it's like, you don't fucking love me.
That's true.
Who is she? Okay, what about receiving gifts? I don't think I can. You can go overboard with this one.
Nikita's like, give me everything.
Give me
sugar daddy level, please.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, Cardi B. I think receiving gifts in the year 2022 in modern day, that might be number one. Like, you can never go overboard getting me stuff.
You can never go overboard. Like, how can that be annoying?
Let's think, though.
Come on, let's spin it.
How can it be annoying? There has to be a limit, right? Maybe? Is there, like, I don't know. People love getting stuff. What would be the limit of too much receiving gifts?
I mean, you don't fucking like receiving shit, though, right?
Because,
didn't you say that it was weird when people were giving you birthday gifts and shit for the first time?
So I didn't have birthdays growing up.
Right.
Maybe I do need therapy. I had a weird childhood.
Maybe that shit is affecting you in ways that you don't really know. You think it's like funny, but it's really not.
I'm laughing to hide my pain, Nikita. This is just my trauma mask.
Oh Lord.
But yeah, like the extreme of receiving gifts. I can't think of a scenario where, like, even though I don't like receiving gifts, or let's phrase it like this. It's not that I don't like it. To say it's like a language of love for me, like, no. But like, do I just like getting stuff? Like, sure. If you're gonna give me something, I'm not gonna say no. So it's like, what is the limit of receiving gifts? Is that the ultimate?
Okay, so this makes sense. Okay, so if your love language or how you express love is giving gifts,
I guess acts of service.
Then what would be the way that you need that love reciprocated? I feel like
this was the question I asked.
Words of affirmation.
Is that I think
words of affirmation, right?
Because I think, like, when I said in the beginning, I think it's an input output. I think people have a way they express love to other people that might be on this list, and the way they want love sent back to them might be another thing on this list. So I feel like people have two. I think.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, we do. Like,
I think going outward to people, it's acts of service. I think coming inward back to me, it's quality time. So I think people have a two-way street. Giving love, I'll do acts of service for you. The love I want coming back to me, I would want quality time. So it's like, it's cool. It's a cool topic.
Yeah.
It's a cool topic.
Yeah.
This might be the most like scientific topic we've done where it's like okay, input.
Oh, this is
output.
right up your alley.
That's why I had to get the graph in front of me. Like, wait, there's so many permutations of this we could talk about.
But okay, so if we're talking about one person, right, and their inflow outflow of how their love language, right? So if they was a person who naturally likes to give gifts, what do you think their natural way of receiving? What do you think their love language for receiving would be? To me, it would make more sense if it was words of affirmation, because I feel like a lot of people who give, like those natural givers, like it excites them, or they feel, I guess they don't mind doing it as long as they feel appreciated, is what I'm trying to say. So it's just like a simple thank you, or, oh my God, I love this. Thank you for doing it. Well, I think that's how I look at it.
That would make sense. That would be the most logical on paper. But think of it like this. Maybe they're task oriented, or where it's like, I give you gifts. Maybe they want acts of service back. Or I give you gifts. Maybe they want something physical in return. Like, hey, I did this for you. Do this for me.
You know what? But then that sounds like expectation, though.
I mean, aren't all these expectations?
I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for you to do it back to me. Like, give it back to me. That's a problem.
All these that way? In a sense?
I don't think so. I think that if you do it and that's how you express love, that's natural and you don't expect it in return. That's how you express it. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is, like, if it's the same thing. So if my love language outflow or output is receiving gifts or giving gifts, and my inflow is receiving gifts, I think that could be a problem, because that would be like, it's like borderline, I'm doing this for you and I expect it.
I think
I'm doing it just so I can get it back in return.
I feel like that's mainly because it's inherently, that particular love language is almost like inherently materialistic. Like, it's centered around maybe not necessarily like a physical thing, but like an action, like an actual, it is centered, or at least a physical giving of something, where it's like, okay, if you're both your love languages are receiving gifts, and I think the whole point of like maybe is introducing the inflow outflow aspect is when it's out of balance, that's when love can feel lopsided. That it does kind of become almost like a give and take, where it's like, hey, I want the levels of love input and output to match. So it's like, okay, if we're both receiving gifts, then it is kind of like, hey, I did something for you, but you haven't done anything for me in months. How many gifts have you gotten this year?
It's like, don't fucking give me shit if you want it in return. Like, if your main point of doing it is for you to get some shit back, I guess, right? It's just like, physical touch, okay? Because this is not materialistic. So I like to physically touch you all the time, and I don't fucking like to if I like to physically touch you, but you don't like to physically touch me back, but that's my love language. That's my inflow and input and output. I don't know. It just feels more like an expectation.
Feels like a scoreboard.
Yeah.
Like, Nikita,
that could be weird.
You touch me for 30 minutes. I expect at least 30 minutes in return for me. Like, keep a... Yeah. Sounds like school or something.
And that's not fun.
Yeah, it's not fun. It has to at least be natural. I think okay, that's like,
so I guess
that's like part of the work of it. You got to find like a natural flow.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what I was about to say.
You got to discover the flow.
It has to, that input output has to match for it to organically work. Right. So if I like to receive gifts, my partner, or if I like to give gifts, my partner, their love language should be, they like to receive gifts. And if I like physical touch, then my partner organically, how they express love, their outflow has to be, I like to, physically touch, that's how I express love. So that's interesting.
I feel like I thought of another scenario using using these love languages. Who would be the most annoying couple to be around? And I thought if there was a couple who both loved in words of
physical
affirmation.
touch.
For me, if they were both words of and then you were just around them, like you guys are
Oh.
annoying. You guys are like, oh my god, you're so great, Pookie Kids. Oh my god, oh no, you're the like, stop, please.
I think mine would be physical touch because it's like I'm having a
Just
conversation
all
with
over each
y'all, and
other.
y'all are like,
Like,
yeah, it's
Nikita,
like
yeah. Mhm.
I know,
Baby,
and
stop.
that's how some people are. Like they would literally be talking to people and like rubbing and like
It's fine.
caressing, and it's like, are you fucking even paying attention to me right
Like,
now?
those are the get a room people.
Right, exactly.
See,
Oh, this is interesting. I've learned so much.
you can like you can break down a lot by viewing people through these. Like, that's why that couple's annoying. Get a room. Why are you so touchy over each other in front of me? I don't need to see all this.
Yeah.
Or like the quality time people. It's like, hey, Nikita, you want to hang out? Yeah, I'm bringing the dude. So it's like, oh my god, can you guys ever not be together? Like both our languages are quality
That's
time.
a good one. That
Yep.
irritates me the most.
Right?
I think that's my most irritable one. The couples that can't fucking do anything, apart or separate. Like
Both our love languages are
fuck.
quality
Like
time.
it's I know. It's like it's a fucking ladies' night and your fucking dude is like walking in with you. It's weird.
See, we could break down so many issues with just these. It's like, that's why that couple's annoying.
Weird.
Who's the annoying acts of service couple? I don't know if I've met them. I've met annoying quality time. I've met annoying physical touch couples. I've met annoying words of
You know
affirmation.
what? Okay, so acts of service and receiving gifts, I think their pain points would be, jealousy from their friends. Because it's like, why the fuck don't you buy me all this shit, Moses? Like,
they're that
she
close.
always getting shit. Like, so it could, like, ruin relationships around them because it's like,
They're that
what the
couple.
fuck? Right.
It's like, he's so loving. He does things for his. Well, honey, I'm ready to go. It's like, your wife does what? Wow. I wish my wife did that.
Right, exactly. That would be the pain
Oh, wow,
points for
we've
acts of
discovered
service
some
and receiving
things.
gifts.
We discovered a
Look at that. I
lot.
learned a lot.
This is
I said after this conversation, we're going to be love language subject matter experts.
you predicted the future. Because I feel like we have so many more things to talk about now. Like this could already spawn like 5 different podcasts.
Right, I know. Hey, we can pick this back up next week.
I'm down.
I think we're at time.
This is interesting. This is exciting.
Yeah. All right. Well, until that time, everyone enjoy the rest of your day and your week.
Enjoy your Saturday. Peace out.
Peace.